in this video we are going to study about the membrane transport, the different transport and how it occurs through plasma membrane. Yesterday we discussed about plasma membrane and its different function. One of the most important function is transport of molecule or solute or ions through the membrane. So it is going to be in three ways, that is your active, passive and bulk transport. So in this, before starting this whole process, let me explain some important point about them. Okay, first of all we are going to understand what is uphill and downhill, and what is concentration gradient. So these points are very important first to understand, and then only we can understand the other things. So let us first discuss about them. So first of all, concentration gradient. Now suppose this is there is a beaker. Just see, there is a beaker, single beaker, and now this beaker is divided into two parts with the help of some kind of membrane. Okay, some membrane we have used and we have divided this beaker in two parts. Now it is having some molecules, maybe molecule, and these molecules are around 500. Number of molecule is about 500. This is a hypothetical example just to understand what is concentration gradient and what is uphill and downhill. So this molecule are 500 in numbers on one side, whereas on the other side it is 50. Let me say 50 molecules are there. So now here the word concentration means amount. Okay, amount. So the amount over here is higher, and here the amount of the molecule is lower, so it is at higher concentration over here and is lower concentration over here. Gradient word here means the region, difference between the two region or area. It forms gradient. One side it is a higher amount or a higher concentration gradient, and this side it is lower concentration gradient. Okay, so now if the movement, let me name this part, this is part A, this is part B. So higher concentration gradient is A part and lower concentration gradient is B part. So now if the movement of the molecule is from A to B, if it is from A to B, then that is your higher concentration to lower concentration, then this movement will be named as downhill. Okay, downhill movement. Okay, or down the concentration gradient. Just remember the word. When the movement of molecule is from higher concentration to lower concentration, it will be downhill movement or down the concentration gradient. Okay, and here one more thing, it will move very easily. Why easily? Because there are already so many molecules over here, so it will be. Now you can understand this by one more example in your mind. If some person is having a lot of money, he can give, or he is more generous, he will give it generously to someone else. Okay, but to some beggar, B for beggar. Okay, less concentration, so he will donate some money to beggar also, and he will keep donating until and unless both becomes equal. Okay, so now this is a movement downhill. Okay, and this will not require any kind of inspiration or any kind of energy. Okay, when something will be from higher concentration to lower concentration, the movement will be from higher concentration region to lower concentration region. It will not require any energy, no energy is required. Okay, no ATP loss, nothing. Okay, it will go on its own spontaneously without spending any energy molecule, and it will go very easily from higher concentration to lower concentration. But if the case is opposite, that is your from lower concentration to higher concentration. Now if B is already beggar, not having any enough molecule, 50 molecules are there, and you are trying to take more from him, so it will be very tough job. It will require some energy to take this much molecule also from that. Okay, you can't take money or anything from beggar like that. Yeah, you have to fight for that. In the same way, here the ATP hydrolysis will take place, and ATP will be utilized, and its energy will be utilized in taking this. Okay, movement from lower concentration to higher concentration will require energy. I am writing over here, lower concentration to higher concentration will require energy, and this process is uphill movement. Okay, it is against the concentration gradient, and if anything is against concentration gradient, it will require energy. So energy is not required from downhill movement, but in uphill movement energy is required. And one more thing, the process where energy is not required, it is a passive process, it is a passive transport. Okay, where the energy is not required. Word passive means without spending any energy, and here if the energy is required, then it is active process. Active process is always, active transport is always what? It is a kind of transport uphill, where the molecule will move against the concentration gradient, or there is a uphill movement. So as we have understood now what is uphill, downhill, what is higher concentration region, what is lower concentration region, now it will be easier for us to understand this process. Okay, let's get started. Now passive process. Okay, passive transport. What is passive transport? Passive transport are those transport of the solute or molecule which do not require energy, where the no energy is required. Okay, so here passive transport of the molecules is a process where no energy is required for the movement, and it will move on its own spontaneously without spending any energy. Let us see the 4 different ways through which passive transport occur. First one is diffusion. What is diffusion? Okay, let us understand from here. This is a room, okay, and there is a man standing in the room, and he sprayed some perfume over here in the one corner. Okay, and within 10 to 20 seconds, now this perfume molecule will spread all over the area. How? The movement occurred from higher concentration region to lower concentration region, where there was no molecule. All the molecule will spread over, and evenly it will be in whole room, it will be observed. Okay, so you can observe the smell in whole room in within few seconds. That is a process of diffusion, where the movement of molecule occur from higher concentration to lower concentration region, and this is a diffusion process. If the same thing is applied for a water molecule and through semi-permeable membrane, then it is a process of osmosis. What is osmosis? Movement of water molecule from the region of higher concentration to the lower concentration through semi-permeable membrane. Just remember, in osmosis, word semi-permeable is very important. Okay, semi-permeable membrane. We all know plasma membrane is semi-permeable membrane. So If the water molecule is diffused, it is known as osmosis process. Okay. Facilitated diffusion are those diffusion of the molecule through the channels. Okay. What is channel? Channels are the small opening or a small you can see this is a membrane and there is an opening. Now this opening is known as channel. Okay. This channel can be gated also, means it can have some gate like structure, which is not this channel will not always open, sometime it will be occasionally closed also. So this is channel, and this channel through this channel the diffusion take place, then it is known as what? Facilitated diffusion. Now facilitated diffusion is mediated by membrane protein also, which are also known as transport protein. Transport protein and carrier protein. There are different transport protein and carrier protein, those protein which are going to help to move some molecule from higher concentration to lower concentration region. Some carrier proteins are also there. Next is your ion channel. Okay, I have told you about ion channel facilitated diffusion. No, facilitated diffusion is of two types, transport protein and carrier protein. Now ion channel. Ion channels are a gap. Okay, they are a channel through which the molecule will move. Now this ion channel can be gated also, means if they are gated, it means that they are occasionally open and always closed. They are only open whenever they will get some kind of stimulus, and this stimulus can be what? This stimulus can be voltage, ion, temperature, ligand gated. So this kind of channels are found, like a potassium gated, potassium ion channel is there. It is very common ion channel, potassium ion channel is there. Okay, it is going to allow only potassium ion to move inside through this channel. Okay, so there are some specific ion channels, and it will allow their specific ion to move through this, and if they are gated, then they will have some kind of, they will require some kind of stimulus to open. So this was a passive transport. Next is your active transport. Now active transport, as I told you, it is a movement of molecule in uphill direction. Okay, uphill means from lower concentration to higher concentration. So it will require hydrolysis of ATP. ATP hydrolysis is required. Now ATP is utilized and energy is required for this movement. Okay, now best example for this is sodium potassium channel. Sodium potassium. Okay, sodium potassium channel is present in all over the membrane, in many cell membrane. Okay, it is used for it is used for a different for maintaining the membrane potential. Okay, in many cells like muscle cells or neurons, and they all contain this sodium potassium exchange pump. Sodium potassium exchange pump. Now this sodium potassium exchange pump will contain what will happen, that it is going to utilize ATP. Okay, now ATP is utilized, and this ATP, now once it gets break down, it will release some kind of energy, and this energy will be used for sending 2 potassium inside the cell and 3 sodium outside the cell. Okay, there is an exchange. That's why we have used exchange word here. So pump will make the movement only when the ATP is hydrolyzed. Okay, once the ATP is hydrolyzed and energy is released, then this energy is utilized for transfer of K plus, 2 K plus ion inside the cell and 3 sodium outside the cell. Okay, this will create a difference between the charges. There will be more positive charge outside the cell and more negative charge inside the cell. Okay, and this will cause the polarization of the cell membrane. We are going to study this concept in neuron chapter whenever we will study neuron. Okay, we have to study that in tissues and cell organization. Then in that chapter we are going to study about this. So there is an electric potential will be formed due to this movement, and this movement happen only with the help of ATP hydrolysis, and this is a best example of active transport. Okay, at the same time, if there is a movement, if there is a movement of some other molecule with this sodium or potassium, then that is known as secondary active transport. Okay, at the same time, if it is using to move some other molecule, then it is a secondary active transport. Now the movement of potassium and sodium was a primary active transport, and with them, if some other molecule is also able to move, then it is a secondary active transport. After this, the next is your bulk transport. What is bulk transport? Bulk transport means transport of a molecule in bulk, or you can say together many molecules are transferred. Okay, pinocytosis is a cell drinking, or a potocytosis. All these are synonyms and they all are same word, same in meaning. Pinocytosis, potocytosis, or cell drinking. Now in this, plasma membrane mediate ingestion. Ingestion means engulfing of a molecule. Okay, engulfing, and either if it requires something, so it is going to take it inside. Okay, the plasma membrane will fuse together to form a vesicle. Okay, there is some molecule outside, then it is going to pinch out and make, this is a process of exocytosis. Okay, if there is a molecule, then it will form a vesicle by coming together, and this it's going to take a, what is vesicle? Vesicle is a bag like structure, round bag like structure. Now this vesicle is a bag like, sac like structure, round sac like structure. It is formed by plasma membrane. Okay, it want to take anything from outside. Okay, in large amount it is, so it will do engulfing of that molecule, that particular molecule. Now this engulfing of the large molecule, now these molecule can be of protein or some kind of liquid droplet. If it is a liquid droplet, then this here it is pinocytosis. If it is having some kind of liquid material, it is pinocytosis. If it is some kind of solid material, then it is phagocytosis. Okay, cell drinking and cell eating words are for this only. So if it is a liquid molecule, it is your cell drinking, and if it is a solid molecule, then it is a cell eating. Now it was discovered by Elie Metchnikoff. This cell eating and cell pinocytosis and phagocytosis word is actually discovered by Elie Metchnikoff. Okay, and he told us about pinocytosis and phagocytosis. It is based on internalized material is solid or liquid. If it is a solid, it is a phagocytosis. If it is a liquid, it is a pinocytosis. And this bulk transports are in and also occur in and out. If it is inside the cell, if it is taking anything inside the cell, then it is what? It is a endocytosis. Okay, and if something is moving outside, okay, so it is a exocytosis. Exo is word for exit. Exocytosis. Here the plasma membrane will fuse to form vesicle like structure, and it will take whatever the molecule is coming, okay, inside, and this vesicle will move inside the cell or move outside the cell depending on the process, if it is exocytosis or endocytosis. So now today's lecture was about a membrane transport.